2, 3, 4. Bought a ship when I just joined the Pilots Federation. It cost me 52 grand. I felt so proud when I special elected to the shipyard and they put the keys in my hand. Do you have keys? I know. And they only have a small hard point, but size doesn't matter to me. 'Cause she's mine and she blows my mind. She's my beautiful space taxi. I'm a hauler, space baller, talking Peterson, I bow to you. It's a mini Fer-de-Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. My space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah. I tricked it out so it jumped just like a lady. It maxed out at 30.09. One fully laden, its ass was a beautiful thing. No shit, kid, to mess with its lines. Jumped into open for a community goal. Thought I'd raise a buck or two. Some guy called Potter stripped my shield to water rider. I'm at 1% as I recharge my friendship. Oh, I'm a hauler, yeah, such a baller. Talking Peterson, I bow to you. It's a mini Fer-de-Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. Yeah, I'm a hauler, such a baller. Talking Peterson, I bow to you. It's a mini Fer-de-Lance with nothing in his pants, but goddamn it, I love you. My space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah, my space taxi, yeah.
Oh, shit. I've accidentally uninstalled Elite Dangerous.
The forum is quiet, not much going on. In some ways that's why I'm writing this song. Nothing new to discuss, just the ongoing grind. As Canon and Co. track the latest dog or find. We're waiting for the next patch to drop. I'm in my latest ship, I'm buying skins from the shop. The inevitable happens, I hear the bell toll. An angry or bored or inept or just droll post on the forum appeals from a new troll, a new troll, a new troll, yeah, a new troll. An internet ghost, safe in anonymity, has spotted an opening and filled it with glee, spouting flaming buzzwords, invective vitriols, calling on the others to crawl from their holes. And they chant, it's a mile wide, inch deep. It's the mantra they will say. Here it's a mile wide, inch deep. And they will type this tribe all day. Here it's a mile wide, inch deep. Is that all that you can say? It's a mile wide, inch deep. And your 500 eyes you will play, yeah, yeah. As my finger hovers over ignore my usual response to this repetitive bore. I see this pointless post has poked at a nerve of the famous white knights, and they respond with such verve. Forgetting is just what the troll wants, but they're rather inaccurate statements and grammar and fonts. The post bits of speed as contributors clash, questioning integrity, parenthood, and even mental health standings in a globalized world wide web impersonal shit slinging match. And they say it's a mile wide, inch deep. And it's the mantra they will say. Yeah, it's a mile wide, inch deep. And they will type this tribe all day. Yeah, it's a mile wide, inch deep. Is that all that you can say? Oh, it's a mile wide, inch deep. And your 500 eyes you will play. I watch the usual parry and riposte unfold. The same old face that beats a promise of old. Moral high ground being taken by either side. Some eating popcorn just along from the ride. Yet most of the nights are so lost in corresponding. Haven't noticed that the troll hasn't even responded. The account set its purpose, the forums or Twitter, they've forgotten what was posted that had turned them all so fervent and angry and so bitter. It's a mile wide, an inch deep. Are the posts I copy and paste? It's a mile wide, an inch deep. For all that lovely salt I can taste. You can't be a troll by rhyme or reason. You can't be the troll by enticing and teasing. You can't be the troll with clever wordplay. You can be the troll by doing this.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the Half Gig, episode 512 of Lave Radio, the show about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder for this episode, we have our Staff Liaison Officer, that'd be Commander Psychic. Hello. We have our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, good evening.
And we also have our tech primate on probation, that's Commander Little Big Yin.
Hey,
Do we have the Chris Mark IV with us?
We don't, no.
We don't.
We have him in the bar, but we don't have him with us.
Oh, that's fair enough then. Well, if you wish, you can join us live. Chris Mark IV is hanging out in the bar in open, so at Lave Station. So you can go join him and keep him company. If not, then you can also join us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat. And on twitch.tv/laveradio if you want to find us directly, or look for Lave Radio on YouTube. So we'll just have a quick run round the team, see how they are. Oh, for those of you who are interested, I think Commander Aid Levice has been addicted by building roller coasters and killing crash test dummies.
Splitter.
Yeah, so he'll be with us as soon as he's killed enough people.
Oh my god!
Killed enough. I think he's trying to do the death coaster. You know, there's a genuine death coaster.
Yes.
I'm sure someone's done it already. Anyway, so we'll just quickly go around the crew. We'll start with the Chris Mark V, Little Bidkin.
So this week, I tried to do some Powerplay 2.0, and then kind of after today's stuff, I've decided that I'm just going to put that in its box and occasionally nudge it when there's changes. I think. But I shall come onto that when we get onto that logical point. Other than that, I've been playing Planet Coaster 2 as well. It is very much fun, and been playing Helldivers 2 and getting blown up by the Democratic Space Station.
You've been blown up by a Democrat?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I should know better than ask, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Commander Alec Turner. How have your week been?
Watcher, it's been good on the whole. I think my main out-of-game story was I volunteered a while back to drive my elderly stepmum up to see her sister. They used to live together, and now her sister's gone back to live in a home near where her children are. So I said, I will drive you up before Christmas and we can go out for lunch. I didn't actually bother to check where it was. until quite recently. And it turns out she's moved to Macclesfield, which is just a tad south of Manchester. So it's like 180 miles, roughly. So on Saturday, I had a 360-mile round trip for lunch.
Whoa!
Wow. If you'd said that, I could have come down to Mac and helped you out.
Yeah, I mean, lunch was very nice, but whoa, I'm not quite sure it warranted going 360 miles for. Yeah. So quick tip, folks, if you're volunteering to drive somebody somewhere, check where it is first. In game, I have been doing Powerplay. Been enjoying Powerplay very much, despite all the issues that have come and gone. So maybe I'll save some of that for later. But one thing I did is I did some on-foot missions to go and steal some data. And as usually happens with those kind of things, I was trying to be stealthy and all that. But it's one of these tourist settlements. They're really good for data missions, tourist settlements, for anyone that doesn't know, because most of them have loads of data ports. But one of the data ports was in somebody's bedroom in one of the habitat buildings, and there were like 3 NPCs just standing there all having a conversation right next to the bed. Very suspicious. But every time I looked in, they were still there. So unfortunately, they had to die, which is just the way these things go down. Because I needed that data, I needed the data, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they died, and I ended up with notoriety. And instead of some people I could name drop who just go AFK, I decided to role play it and figured, well, it's time to leave the bubble.
Yeah.
So I went to there's a bunch of time trials I've set up, 3D Copilot. I've talked about those before. One of them is way out in, I don't know, Rigo, blah. It's where the Thargoid Guardian sort of battlefield is. So there's a planet up there that's got loads of crashed Thargoid ships and a couple of Guardian ruins on the same planet, 2 of which are 38 kilometers apart. So I went back out there to reclaim my rightful place on the podium because some rotter by the name of Duck had knocked me off the podium. So I am back, baby, back in second place until I get knocked off again. But it's good because I quite like that. I role played a bit of vacation time from the bubble. My notoriety's gone back down, so I'm on my way back to do more Powerplay. More later, I guess.
Excellent. Okay, that leaves Commander Psychit. What you been up to?
I was off last week.
Come on, let's get it out of the way.
I was off last week.
You were away last week.
Yeah, I was away
jealous.
last week. I was at a party. I was at a not very important party in London. Meeting Mark Beer and just having a really lovely time with some pals, with some free drinks and some God, there weren't that many people there. I got full imposter syndrome. Like, I should not be here. I'm not worthy to be in this space with all of these lovely humans. But I met some really, really nice people. Ran into some people who I didn't know were going to be there, who I randomly, the last time I saw them was in Dundee, So it was really, really cool to hang out with some cool folks. I have a little tiny, I don't have the game yet. It was a launch party for the Mass Effect board game. I don't have the game yet, but I do have a little tiny minifig of my space husband and a little Garrus Vakarian, I should clarify if that wasn't already very obvious. And I have a little tiny minifig of Rex as well. And they're so detailed. I'm going to send them to my my brother-in-law and ask him very nicely to paint them for me because he's very, very good at painting. I'm going to send him lots of reference photos of Garrus Vakarian and then maybe 2 or 3 of everyone else, but I'm going to get him to paint those for me. They got a little gunny bag with those in, came home, no problems with the trains at all because there was potentially going to be a problem with the train. I went up, the thing is, it's really nice where I am. I can get to Newport and I can get a train that goes from Newport to Paddington and it takes 2 hours. there's a train that just goes and it takes 2 hours, and that's great. That's just brilliant. That means that if there's an event that finishes at 10 and it's close to London, close to like central London, close to Paddington, most of the time I can go to it and not have to shell out the extra money for having a hotel. So that's really friggin' cool, being able to do that. But as I got off the train at Paddington last Tuesday, this time pretty much, no, I was on my way back this time last week, but pretty like when I got to Paddington on last Tuesday, I was already running late, and as I walked through Paddington to go and get my Uber to get to this event, I heard over the tannoy them going, oh, we're having to cancel a lot of trains between Paddington and Reading. And I was like, you fucking what? Because there were two trains. There was a train I was supposed to get and the train after that, and then I was fucked pretty much from that point on. But thankfully, the train that was before me and the train that was after me was cancelled, but my train was fine. So I got home all right, enough time to get the show notes done and all of that stuff. I've been playing, much like my husband, an awful lot of Planet Coaster 2, which has been really cool because I've been making like a D&D themed park, which is really fun and just chill and nice to just relax to at the moment. And then on Friday, I had a procedure done, and I'm still like a very, very non-life-threatening, not a big issue procedure, but I had a procedure done, and I'm still kind of in recovery from that. This is my first sort of like publicly speaking thing since I had the procedure stuff done. So I'm still on the recovery, hoping to get back to it either tomorrow or Thursday. I did a bit of Powerplay last Thursday as well before I came off. I feel like I'm a week behind everybody else because I had my second week of missions and Powerplay missions to do last week. Of the little bit of the show that I heard last week, I have a lot of feelings about what you guys were saying, but I guess we'll talk about that maybe in a little bit.
Oh yes, I think there's a lot to say.
Yeah, but aside from that, other things, because I went to a Mass Effect party and I met Mark Mia, I wanted to play more Mass Effect, so I've downloaded a shit ton more mods, and I'm just like plodding through a Mass Effect playthrough off stream as well. Yeah, another one. Why not? I managed to make it like 7 weeks without playing Mass Effect. So, but I'm also doing a big modded playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 with Katie and Kremen, and we're not far from the end now. We have like a big, massive modded playthrough. Each one of us has got our main character and then 3 other characters that we're running around with. So I'm hearing so much dialogue, like ambient dialogue, that I've never unlocked before because I haven't had the opportunity to walk around with like all of the characters. So that's been really, really fun too. I've been doing a lot of gaming and like steadily recovering as I've not been very well. I've not been very well is a funny word, but as I'm like been getting better from what my procedure on Friday. Yay! Video games, they're cool.
Yeah, at least yes. Well, let's hope you're on a better track for recovery.
I'm getting there, man.
Yeah, excellent. Well, let's see. I've been doing a lot of Powerplay, so I'll be able to have a good rolled rant about that later as well. Been playing Final Fantasy 15 continuously, which I managed to sort out. Surprisingly enough, I've been playing Neverwinter Nights 2. I don't know why. I just am. So, and then when you compare it to Baldur's Gate, you sort of think, wow, that's a lot of evolution in 20 years. Because it did. I know. It's yeah. And then, unfortunately, I've been trying to replace taps in the bathroom, failed miserably, because I don't have the right tools, or either I don't have enough strength in my arms to undo the nuts that the plumber put in. And yes, just generally doing the usual household stuff and being run off at work because I've got to put 2-factor authentication in our systems before our company gets a £9 million fine.
Wow, amazing, incredible.
So
Love
no
that for
pressure
you.
there. No pressure there. Yeah, just putting in a security system that, okay, keeps the system safe, but the users hate it.
Yeah.
But you better put it in. So, yeah. So that's been my week. In fact, actually, I've got to get back on and do coding after this is finished. So that's how things are turning out. So, yeah, development news for this week. What have the devs said? Well, we've had a couple of things. We've had a couple of, there's been a couple of tweets from David Braben. Obviously, he's been tweeting about the impressive parks people have been creating in Planet Coaster 2. But he did actually put in a quote for Elite Dangerous, which you put in. I quote this because someone's put this in. I wonder if anybody could guess who. Big Daddy Braben says there's more to come in Elite. That's a kind thing to say. The team are working hard on support and improving the games, and we've seen some great results with much more to come. So that all that's taken is that little phrase with much more to come, and everyone's went, that's it, we've got it going for the next 5 years.
More ships.
Next 10 years guaranteed. Ship
12
interiors
ships
coming
every
soon.
game.
Yeah.
12 ships every year. 4 was just the tip of the iceberg.
Hey, if that happens, we would not be complaining.
I mean, maybe we'd get ship fatigue.
Oh no, not another ship. So
No,
bored of new ships.
not another ship for a game about spaceships. We don't want that. Someone would fucking complain, you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, not another ship.
I think you'll find that we've
Just
already
trying to
got
trip
one
money
that
on
feels
you,
that...
Frontier.
They're trying to
No,
buy
they
us
call
off
it
with
F-Dev,
ships.
100%.
Hiding the fact that
using
they've cancelled console by bribing us with ships.
Maybe Ben will get his hover bike.
Maybe Ben will get his hover bike. I would also like my hover bike.
If he gets his hover bike, we'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, God.
Mind you, I must admit, I wouldn't mind a hover bike.
Yeah, true. Me too.
Well, that's not the only thing, and we will probably touch on this later as well. Today, they've said that, well, due to issues with Powerplay at the moment, rescue pods, rare trading, and settlement data delivery have all been switched off for merits and score games in Powerplay 2 while they investigate an issue. The issue that we've got here is, of course, that if you just started Powerplay, what's one of the missions that you've got to complete before you can start progressing? Yeah, delivering rares. So, yeah, it's kind of blocked people for a little while until this is resolved.
Oh no, hang on, wait a second. Can you? Does that still not even register that you've delivered them, or do you not get the merits?
You don't get the merits or the score gains.
So it doesn't. But it, like in that little mission thing, it just doesn't move if you try and do it. Has anybody found?
I haven't confirmed this, but the fact that they've said they've switched off both merit and score games, normally that implies that you're not going to get anything from when you deliver them. So.
I wonder.
And you can't progress into Powerplay until you've done your first week's weeklies, can you?
Yeah, you can't. So that just seems really.
So Spherelance in chat just said you can still do the mission, but no bonus wares.
You don't get a bonus for it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
So you can still get access to Powerplay. Then they're not completely gatekeeping anyone else from playing Powerplay until it's fixed. That's fine. I'll allow that.
Phew. Right. Okay. So quite a light. Well, that news went down quite well today, didn't it? But again, we will talk about that later. Right. So at this moment, I will hand over to Alec for the community news.
And now, to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
It is another flipping packed week of community news. Right, first up, mentioned this a while back, but Aramis Kamzel, one of the sort of original explorers, I guess many people will know Aramis Kamzel, is sort of redoing the Distant Suns expedition because it's the 10th anniversary event. So we've got a link in the show notes which goes to a Google Doc which he's now written up. There's a couple of things about in the doc that I just wanted to comment on. The expedition itself is due to set off on, I had the date somewhere, but it's like the 16th and 17th of December, so it is fast approaching now. So this is kind of meant to be a rerun of that very original expedition to the far side of the galaxy. It wasn't a big expedition like the sort of Distant Worlds things. And there's some interesting advice in this document saying, you know, if you're looking for the original experience, then actually he's kind of recommending that you do it solo because that's how it was at the time. It wasn't a big group, it was people just going off into the galaxy. And there's also advice on, you know, doing it in original ships, you know, doing it with historical context and doing it old school, so no engineering and the original ships and jump ranges. And it's fascinating to read about some of the hazards that involves, which are kind of not an issue anymore. So, for example, there are 6 navigational hazards on the way to Beagle Point. There's things like there's the thing called the drinks and sniggering at the ready, the Alcock's pocket.
Hey!
Hey, which is a band of brown dwarf systems, which I remember from doing the Sagittarius A-star buckyball. Actually, it's a long band of brown dwarf systems, which means you're in danger of running out of fuel in old school ships. There's things like white dwarfs, and we didn't have a star filter, so you can sort of run into white dwarfs, which can mess up your route plotting. Yeah, there's the Centaurus Badlands, which is another band of brown dwarfs. I think there's even oh yes, there's the Interam Abyss, which is a gap which is quite difficult to cross in an unengineered ship. So it's all those original problems. So if anyone wants to put themselves through all the old original trials and tribulations of being an explorer, then Distant Suns expedition could well be for you. There'll be a link to that in the show notes. Next up, I mentioned, I think last week, a forum post by Nowski, or it might have been a couple of weeks ago now, about Powerplay activities, and it was like a little color-coded guide to what sort of activities you could do for each power. Ian Doncaster has kind of reworked that into a reference card, which is more like a sort of online spreadsheet. It just sort of it makes it sort of very readable, and basically you look up your chosen activity and what kind of state the system is in: acquisition, reinforcement, undermining, and so on, and it tells you whether you can do that thing or not. So it's a really good little reference sheet. Right, into some videos. One I only got sort of called out to me in the last few hours, so I haven't had time to watch it all the way through because it's about 25 minutes long, but it's from Indigo, who's done some great videos in the past. And it's called Elite's New Major Update is Wild Galactic War Update. So the video kind of starts with a statement about what Indigo is tentatively planning to do, which is to release a video, I think weekly, trying to comment on the state of Powerplay and you know who's gaining ground and who's losing ground, and maybe focus on some specific battles and encounters and things. The first 5 or 10 minutes of the video I watched was quite interesting because he was really just showing the galaxy map and how he was planning to kind of decide what to talk about. And it's that slider that I don't think everybody uses in the Powerplay filters, which sort of, I can't remember, it's something like activity level. And by setting it to a sort of nice threshold, the systems that are highlighted in the galaxy map are basically the places where things are moving and shaking. So yeah, I'll watch the rest of that, but it looks good, and I like the idea of somebody doing a weekly Powerplay video. If it turns out there's enough to talk about, I guess. Next up, this one is from Just About. and it's called Just About Exobiology, and it's LCU No Fall Like One doing a fantastic lecture on exobiology. I mean, lecture is the word. If anyone who vaguely knows LCU No Fall Like One, imagine him in front of a whiteboard doing a lecture on exobiology and render that in game, and you've pretty much got it. It's very funny. I haven't had a chance to watch it all the way through yet. Right, onto some sort of some more sort of music stroke montage videos. This next one is a stunner and was actually sort of retweeted or at least commented on by David Braben himself. It's from Auraxus Animus, and it's called Elite Dangerous Stellar Ascendancy Cinematic Unofficial. And it is basically a fan-made trailer for the Ascendancy update, and it is flipping fantastic. Has anyone seen this?
No, but it is on my list.
It's really good. It's really, really extremely good. Yeah. So David Braben shouted that out on Twitter.
I've seen it. It's brilliant. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's
so
fab.
good.
It features, I believe, the Lave station bar as well, where some of you may be standing right now. It's a nice little nod to Lave. Right, next up, we've got a couple of music videos. Yeah, the first one is kind of, I meant to shout this out last week, but we had a lot last week, and I nearly didn't make it the cut this week either, but I had to shout it out. It's a series called Voidwood from Enigmatic, replacing the E, I, and A with a 314. I'll just read out the description. In the second week of the Crazy Journey 2, the expedition fleet passes the Perseus Arm, stunned by an abundance of awe-inspiring scenery along the way through a region that is rightly called the Elysian Shore. At the end of the week, they meet in the Formidane Rift and investigate the long-dead settlements left behind by the mysterious Dynasty Project. So it's, I guess, a weekly series of videos by the looks of it, following an expedition. But there's some fantastic imagery in it. Really, really nice exploration videos. And then lastly, a couple more music videos. One from Space Bear called Into the Stars, and one from Rejet called High Roller. I like them both. I think which one you love may depend on your music tastes. So the first one has got a sort of bit of, I'm doing it a great disservice by calling it country and western kind of folk, but it's a song called Society by Eddie Vedder. And the second one is a song called High Roller by The Crystal Method. I adore the second one because it's got this really sort of thumping beat that goes with some nice edit cuts, but Space Bears is equally chilled and both got fantastic imagery again. Right, on to point 9. I don't know if this belongs in community news or any other business, but what the hell, I will do it here. Just to say happy birthday to the Burr Pit, because unbelievably, it's their 6th year now. 6th year.
Wow.
6th year of the Burr Pit. So much love to the Burr Pit. We don't feature enough of their stuff, mostly because, and this is awful of me, but it's a given that it's good.
It's because you hate them, isn't it, Alec? That's what it is.
Let's pretend that's not true. Me and Burr love each other, really. Sorry. They're brilliant. You know, they put out Witch Space news every week, and it's the single best. If you're going to watch one video a week about Elite Dangerous, then just watch the Witch Space news. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so their community has been running for 6 years now, and what an absolutely lovely community is. And just as a footnote to that, they have their live PitCon, which is happening next year, early next year. And I believe there are still tickets available, although they really are like a handful of tickets left for that now. So it'll be in the show notes, but just in case people are listening right now want to jump on that, it's The Burr Pit. And it's BWR, not BURR. I always get those confused. theburpit.com/tickets-2025. Grab those last few tickets. Right. A little bit of buckyball news, because kind of Commander Homburger, who always writes a lovely blog on the races and finds different sort of ways to spin that each time has this one's a really interesting theme. His blog is called Zen and the Art of Gravity Braking, and he's just, although he talks about the race and the week as it played out and the leaderboards and things, this one is kind of just trying to focus in on a thing we do in buckyball racing, which is to basically achieve really fast supercruise approach to a station by pushing the classic 6-second rule and using things like sort of corkscrews to control the acceleration that you get if you drop below a 6-second ETA, and things like cutting past planets to get gravity braking off the planet at the last minute. And it's a lovely blog. He got quotes from a few of us on trying to explain in words how we do what we do, and then he's sort of formulated that into this fantastic write-up of the latest race. And speaking of the latest race, I mean, the races we've talked about, they're all part of a championship which has been running this year. So 8 races in total. So we have one left now, happening later this month, I guess. But the way the scoring works is basically you get 20 points for first place, 19 points for second, 18 for third, and so on. And you only keep the points of your best 6 races. So now we're on to race 7. What's happening is that people that have been in all the races are only getting points if they've improved. So if your previous best was a fifth place, and you now got a third, then you go up 2 points. But if your previous best was 4th and you came 6th in this race, then you get nothing. So it's about just trying to refine those scores. So just very briefly, in unlimited class, where you can use any ship and any engineering you like, the standout thing that I wanted to shout out is that Shay Blackwood has achieved a perfect 120 points.
Go on, Shay, you mad lad. I love that.
Which means he's come first in at least 6 races and is therefore unassailable. I'm in second, and there's no way I can get the points I'd need to even tie with him. So Shay, at least unofficially, has won this year's championship in magnificent style, like perfect score. What can you do? And then also I wanted to shout out in just a couple. In second place it's me, third place Epaphras, 4th is Surboundness, and 5th is Sulu, and on down the list. Right.
Yeah, lucky number 17. Come on.
Where are you? 17? Yes, Psychic 17th. Yeah. There you go.
I'm all right with that. I am comfortable with that, and I've barely done hardly any of the races, so I'm quite pleased with that.
I mean, what have you got? 20 points? Is that the new 1 point club? 20 points?
No, because because sometimes there weren't even like 20 people who completed the race.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But I really enjoyed it. It's been really good.
Yeah, no, it's been great fun again. Regulation is also really exciting because in the top 3 places we have me, Osric, and Kevin the Stabber in the chat. I see. Osric is on 110 points. I'm on 110 points. Kevin is on 109 points. So, wow, that is close. We have 1 race to go. So the 3 of us are absolutely fighting for that first place win, because it's anyone's game at this point. I think, strictly speaking, Osric has the lowest score in one of his races. I think he's came 7th in a race, which means he has the most to gain. If he came first in the last race, he would gain 6 points. Whereas I think my worst is 4th, so I can only gain 3. So yeah, Osric's favourite, I would say, but you never know. Anything could happen. And below us 3, we've got Epaphras in 4th, Tobias von Brandt in 5th, and so on down the list.
I'm in 20th on that one. I think I've only done like 2 like non-regular. No, hang on, wait. No, I've done much more regulation ones than I have. Oh no, I feel bad.
You've got 19 points, so that could be spread across
I think I've done like 3 races, maybe. I think I've done 3. It's been really fun. The ones that I've been able to do has been really fun. It's been like, hey, folks, if you're at a loose end, once a month, over a period of 8 months, the Bucky we do a thing, and it's fun.
It is fun. I tell you what, it's a good thing to do when you've got a little bit of notoriety. Just go off, do a buckyball race, come back, your notoriety will be gone, sorted. Anyway, that's this week's community news.
Oh, well and good, you
Excellent.
can get fined, and then you're fucked.
That's true.
So, yeah, if you have a community event that's taking place soon and you'd like us to shout about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email info@laveradio.com. So, let's have a quick look at the in-game events. What has been happening this week? Well, there's been no Galnet news whatsoever. So, straight on to the Thargoid War. Well, the Thargoids tried to invade 2 systems. They didn't succeed. There were 64 control systems at the beginning of the week, 17 of which have been cleared. There is 1 single Titan left and 13 systems in recovery. We're probably looking at 2 more weeks then. And yeah, it'll be up for grabs. So beginning of December.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm worried because I am going away for a week in December, and I shouldn't say this on air, but if that happens, I am genuinely going to be giving my login details to somebody. Sorry, cut that. Somebody is going to have to go
Yes, cut that, make that really, really loud.
and kill that last Titan for me, because I'm not missing out now. Not now.
Oh my God.
Not at the end.
Missing out on the last one is the worst thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you just imagine that? Unfortunately, I'm going to be away for a few days that weekend as well.
My guys, just give me your logins. I'll go in and do your 2 mil. I'll forget. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Quick message to the AXI. Could you just lay off?
Like
for
chill
December?
for a minute, lads.
Chill,
all right?
chill for a bit, and then we'll do it in January.
Give me your logins. I definitely won't unpledge you to any of your powers. I promise.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're pledged to Torval.
Oh no! What? And all of a sudden, I've spent the money for you to get your simp banners on the back.
I had all those arcs, and now I've got a simp banner for Torval. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
and not only that, but I've lost the last buckyball race. How did that happen?
Right, the power play standings this week. Well, top 3 remain unchanged. However, there has been some slight movement further down the leaderboard. We've got Mahan, Ashling, and Arissa all at the top as the top 3. Everybody has gained systems. However, there has been some movement. Because Lee Yong-Ru has now overtaken Denton Petraeus between 7th and 8th. And yes, the number of exploited systems has fallen for some people, which is good, but everyone else seems to have gained fortified and strongholds. So yeah, so there's a little bit of movement to begin with because this is week 2. It'll be interesting to see what happens next, especially with the results of what we'll probably discuss later on.
Colin, what carried over from Powerplay 1? Was there a sense of the number of did the number of systems controlled by each power remain from 1 to 2?
Yes, it's the actual positioning of the powers stayed exactly the same.
Okay.
With the exception of Kane, who came in higher than Delaney.
Oh, yes,
and Torval. Archer just replaced Hudson, so that that wasn't a major thing. But yeah, it does seem that we've got 1 Alliance and 2 Empire right at the very beginning, and the Feds are right down the bottom. So the loose screws complaining that there are Fed necks everywhere doesn't seem to apply to Powerplay.
Maybe they're all over screw space.
Maybe he's just having to deal with it's just the screw space having to deal with it. Right then, it's that time of the week again.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art.
Well, now this was actually interesting. I wasn't expecting this whatsoever. This is the Python Space Hawk ship kit pack. And I must admit, I thought I was looking at a different game when I first saw this.
It's crazy. It's good though.
Yes. So basically, it gives the Python a whole load of extra, well, 3 extra bits. One of which is what looks like a massive radar dish, which goes on the top. So yeah, if you ever felt like you want to fly in AWACS, seems to be it. Yeah. What's
Big
everybody
nacelles
think?
on the wings, which are a bit Star Trek-y, aren't they?
Yeah, I must admit, I thought it was some kind of Klingon hybrid from Bridge Commander. The way that they'd done the angle of the promotional shot. I thought, was that Elite or is it Bridge Commander? But yeah, it's Elite, and yes, it's ours.
It's bold. I don't know if anyone's seen one in action. I haven't, but I gather the big radar dish rotates, which must be quite something actually.
Does it rotate when you're landed?
Oh, don't know.
Because can you just like go on it and pretend you're in a Jamiroquai video from the 90s?
Oh my god! Oh, like you're walking on a like you're a
There's no way. There's no way.
Tom and
this
Jerry
physics
walking
is
on a gramophone
like,
record.
stop thinking that they're going to have those physics. Don't even think.
You'll probably sink
even
through
if
it.
it will not have those physics. Also, it's a fucking abomination.
Yeah, I'm
you
not,
don't like it.
I dislike this one.
I hate it so much. I think it's so ugly.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think
It's really interesting. It's bold. I like how bold it is.
I don't hate the little nacelle things on the side.
Right.
But I'm not buying a whole ship kit for nacelle things on the side. Because the rest of it is a fucking abomination. I hate it so much.
So I think the twirly thing would look better on a big ship. I think on this, there's too much going on around the back of it. I think that would look that spinny dish would look good on like a Conda, a Type 10, something that's
You
big.
dare say Corvette.
Yeah, Vet potentially.
Fuck off.
It wouldn't look good on the car. It would just look weird. But it just looks too much for this. It's just too big a thing on a quite a smallish, well, a medium-sized ship. I just think it's too much.
You know what's going to be really weird is that I actually quite like it.
You're wrong.
Have you suffered a head injury from when you fell off your bike?
No, there's a reason for it. It does remind me of Star Trek ships, and I'm a sucker for a good Star Trek ship.
It looks a bit like the Miranda class of ship had that weird single saucer section with 2 nacelles coming down with kicky outy bits. I think it was the Miranda.
You know, it was the Reliant, USS Reliant, yeah.
Was that Miranda class?
Well, that's what I remember Miranda class being. Is the USS Reliant from Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my God, that's how nerdy I know my Star Trek spaceships is, because I know what class the Reliant was. Oh my God. It's a good job I don't play Star Trek Online.
Like it, then.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it reminds me of Star Trek ships. Even if you take the top off and you've got the 2 nacelles at the bottom, that reminds me of a Klingon battlecruiser, so I'm fine with that.
People will buy these, and I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open around Shindes, because sooner or later I'll get to see one, and I want to go and watch that big disc spinning round.
or if you're psychic, you will shoot it down just because it offends you.
Man. Nah, man. I don't like. I hardly want to shoot something because I don't like the way it looks. Jesus Christ.
The other thing I was going to comment on is that, because we've commented on this before, I feel like there was a yellow ship skin and they photographed it against a yellow background, and it's like, I sometimes find their sort of store photography is very on the nose. This shot's got a big disc, and they photographed it next to 3 other ringed bodies, all at exactly the same angle as the disc. It's like, yeah, we get it. It's got a big disc. Maybe
Are you pointing out the big? Are you pointing out the big disc? Are you trying to draw attention to it?
A new line for the Pirate's Handbook. Look at the size of a disc if you want.
The size of that big disc.
You got a big disc, or are you just pleased to see me?
And it seems the chat room is now.
Title.
The chat is that a big dish? Or you just pleased to see me?
The other thing I'm not sure about is the front wagglers. They seem a bit pointless. Yeah, they seem a bit like they were kind of just stuck on. Somebody was like, "Oh, we've got these bits left over, just wang them on the front."
Actually, it makes it more look like a Firefox than it did before. Everyone, I mean, while the chat room is going mad with Khan, Khan memes. So yeah, let's leave that alone. Although someone's already called it the Tron variant, which is always nice. Anyway, I think we shall take a break, and we will come back with some. I think so. Can only be described as final wrap-ups on Powerplay for the moment.
Oh, you say that, don't you dare!
Did last week.
So yeah, continuation from last week, really.
Final.
But yeah, well, after these messages from our sponsors.
Oh, boy, space is cold in here. That commander has a cheek sitting up in his cosy and warm cockpit while we haul radioactives around his cargo bay.
Oh, is it cold? I hadn't noticed.
Oh, that's right. Why, you're not even shivering.
Maybe it's because I picked up this North Coast cargo bay
It's the size
sweater.
of that.
It keeps me warm and stylish.
Say, that is a nice jumper.
It's made from the finest Verix wool and handcrafted by novitiates in the underground monasteries of Van Marnen's Star.
Wow. Where can I get one?
New North Coast cargo bay sweaters. Be the envy of your friends. Wow every lady from here to the Empire. Be warm and toasty even on the 10th planet of a dying star. Now on sale at Spark and Mensa.
Better now?
Better? Why, I feel so warm I'll probably never catch man flu again.
Spark and Mensa, because nothing says sexy like a neck-high jumper.
Out there's a ship just for you. A ship that can carry you to the furthest stars, jumping long distances whilst offering an unobstructed view of the galaxy. A ship that can also pack a decent punch if the pirates come knocking. A ship that feels safe. A ship that feels like home. The Asp Explorer. A great ship at a great price in a competitive galaxy. Fly far. Fly safe. Fly in front of things.
Hey Commanders, this is Mick from Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a hysterical ordering mishap and not reading the fine print, I'm currently in possession of over 10,000 snakes. Many of which are deadly, so everything must go. We have anacondas, asps, cobras, diamondbacks, fodlants, keelback, kraits, mambas, pythons, sidewinders and vipers, none of which are capable of spaceflight without being strapped to a rocket. Need a pet for your cockpit? Buy a snake. Need to scare your mother-in-law and give her a heart attack for the insurance money? Buy a snake. Need to fill a beluga full of snakes to assassinate a witness on their way to a Federation courthouse? Buy many snakes. Bulk discounts are available at Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. You can find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us at the former site of Sensible Michael's Shipyard and Outfitting Warehouse. Will somebody get these mother snakes out of my mother warehouse?
Lave Radio? It's even louder than me. Hey, wait a minute. That can't be right.
And welcome back. Well, as you can probably tell, the lot of us have all been power playing this week to one degree or another. And yeah, this is now week 2 of Ascendancy and Powerplay version 2. And let's just see how everybody's managing, because I have a sneaky suspicion people have things to say about it. Now, obviously, Claire has been away, so we're going to start with Claire.
Hi!
Because you didn't have a chance to speak last week.
So I feel like I'm now in the position where you guys were last week, because I did my onboarding 2 weeks ago, and then I did my second week on Thursday. So I try to get at least one day a week in, or like a good few hours a week in of playing some Elite. Unless like No Man's Sky does something really cool, or those kind of things. I mean, it's just a video game; it's going to be there when I come back, that kind of thing. But I try and get a little bit in a week, and I did my second week of Powerplay, and I had. Would you have 5 missions? Because I figured I'm just going to do the 5 missions. I'm not all in or anything like that. I'll just potter around, see if I can use the map to see where I'm probably needed the most and where the bars are the fullest, so I can help top up on certain bars for Kane and that kind of stuff. And I did 4 of the missions relatively easily, all in my my Mandalay. It's an exploration ship, don't you know? So I turned in all my bounties and all of my murders and stuff that I'd done in the Mandalay, the exploration ship, and really enjoyed playing all of that. And then I got to a point where I had to scan data pads and pick up one specific piece of data. There's one of like the on-foot stuff, and I waddled around a station for fucking hours. And I didn't pick up one, and it had plenty of data pads, and I was being so good. I barely killed anyone. I was being the best person. I was scanning everyone before killing them, so they had a bounty, so I wasn't getting a bounty. I was a model citizen, and nothing, absolutely nothing at all. None of them. So I did 4 out of 5, but I just, my initial takeaway from it was, this really needs like a good balance pass.
You should mention that.
Yeah. It really, really needs a good balance pass. I think there are certain, like, I know we're probably going to come on to what Frontier have done today with regard to like turning things off because of people just doing things over and over again on repetition to gain rank. And to that I say, kind of fair play to those people who have decided that the fun that they want to have in their video game is just constantly repeating the same thing over and over again. Cool. Good for you guys, but I really like really like the missions and the stuff that it gives you. I just wish all of them took a very similar amount of time, and one of them wasn't so. And the one that I had that was so heavily reliant on RNG deserves to get in the bin and be yeeted out to sea. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty much where we were last week. So glad to see you that you're on catch up. Right. Well, I think we'll need to get the soapbox warmed up here. The Chris Mark V, you've had a few thoughts.
So yes, I have.
Oh no.
Okay, so where to start? I think what Frontier did with the temporarily deactivating escape pods, the data where you could get duplicates from the same data download thing. I can't remember what they call it. And rare trading was probably a good idea. I think it needed to happen. But a part of me now wishes that, and I'm probably going to be hated for this, that Frontier would just pause the whole thing and spend time and go through everything and see where the rebalancing needs to happen. Rather than kind of do it in bits and pieces, because eventually you're going to get to the point where you're going to stop someone from doing the thing that they like, which can help defend the system, and it will but people can still attack. So at the moment, strongholds until like an hour before we went live, we're actually at quite a lot of risk, because up until an hour ago, you were getting 76 merits for killing a ship launch fighter around a stronghold carrier, but you get 76 merits and no bounty. If you killed a normal NPC ship around the stronghold carrier, you would get 35, I think I pulled from someone, and a bounty. So you're getting double for no slap on the wrist. It's now been changed to 14 merits for killing a ship launch fighter, but still no bounty. I'm not sure that's right, but it is what it is. However, that meant up until they reduced them to 14, you couldn't defend a stronghold properly, because you can't take rears in anymore. You can't do escape pods or any of that. So anything bar going out and exploring, you couldn't do to reinforce your stronghold system. So stronghold systems actually became the weakest point in a network of Powerplay systems.
Gotcha.
Which probably isn't what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no.
You know, the clue's in the name.
There's a lot of things I'd love to just jump in and say there's a lot of things that I look at and I hear you guys talking about it. And I was like, when I was listening to you guys talking about it last week, I think I wrote like 4 times in chat was, that can't be intentional. And I feel like this is like a recurring statement that we're finding things out and stuff is being discovered that, or like exploits are being discovered that Frontier are having to act upon, which definitely weren't intentional at the point. And it's giving credence and validity to those toxic troll type people who are like, Frontier never play their games. And to some extent, you can see where they would come from with this. But also on the flip side, I didn't know that like all of these things were available, and I play once a week. People have lives, but I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I think
and to chip in on that as well. Some of these things that we're calling exploits, they're not really. It's just Frontier have underestimated how much rare trading people are prepared to do. They're underestimating how much exploration data people are prepared to come back with. You know, there's nothing exploity about trading loads of rares through a fleet carrier, as far as I know, unless I've missed something. It's just Frontier hadn't gauged sufficiently how much of that people were prepared to do. I think
that's a big part is, and I mean this in the original use of the word, I think a part of it is ignorance on Frontier's part on how much rare somebody will stuff on their fleet carrier. How often someone will, for example, go to Deciat, take all the people off the 2 permanently damaged megaships in Deciat.
Oh yeah.
Log back in, and keep doing that until you can get a few hundred. Go and drop them off in one of your own systems for a couple of thousand merits.
Wow.
You know, I don't think they expect people to.
Dedicant or something, you can get escape pods from it.
So there's 2 in Deciat. I can't remember their names, but they're both being attacked by Thargoids. So that is the risk that you run. Is, you know, you have to go in there, be below your 20% heat, and also then you get the weird things where your collector limpets queue up underneath your ship and refuse to dock for ages.
Yes.
Which gets a bit brown trousers when there's danger flowers flying around. But I don't think I think that maybe there's a bit of denial that people do this log out and log back in, because I know Frontier have said it before for material gathering that it's not the expected play style or something like that. I think they said. Yeah, but it is. It's happening though.
Yeah, it's not the expected play style, but they didn't take it into account that that's what players would do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting reports. Well, Elvis Crimmon's saying that you can do the relogging trip for holo boards as well, which I think's a bit. That's a bit of a shame, that, because, you know, once I've flown in a couple of times on the holo boards in open, and you know you've got Torville, you've got Ashling, you've got a mixture there where people are actually fighting using advertising.
So
which
the issue with that for me, I had to relog to do my to do one of my my missions because there was only one hollow board in the whole system. So you probably talked about that last week, but
Right. So having turned it, you needed to relog to
for it
get
not
more
to
than
be
1
turned
point.
anymore, so I
Yeah.
could do my 11. I've just got before we started streaming today, I just got went and got an achievement in Mass Effect relogging and redoing a save to do something in Mass Effect 1, and it felt like that. It felt so save scummy, and again, that can't be the intention. That I think needs to be okay. There needs to be a mark to say, okay, we can't. With the mission giving, for the people who are only engaging with that, there needs to be a mark against the mission giving. That's like, I hate people who only have, make sure there's enough, the capability for you to do the thing in the system that we're sending you to.
Yes. Well, that's the other issue that I was having, because for the last 2 weeks, I have had scan megaships in order to get my weeklies. And it's been a chore. It really has, because finding those megaships in acquisition systems, for instance, is so difficult. I mean, thanks to Inari and Alec, I was able to get a list of the local systems around me. But even then, I've gone through all the acquisition systems, and there's only been 3 megaships there. I was supposed to scan 9, so that means that there's no way I can do all my weeklies. So yeah, it's
Does that
it's frustrating.
Can you relog to do that? Just out of curiosity.
No, because once you've scanned a megaship, that's it. You can't scan it again for another week.
Oh shit!
That's got a
Okay.
week limit on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't relog for those ones, which is a bit of a shame. And then of course, I spent ages. I can't remember whether I mentioned this last week, but I spent ages trying to get escape pods from an undermining system. I didn't realise that you've actually got to take them back to your own systems in order to get them credited. I was handing them into the power person in the undermining system when I shouldn't have been. So I was giving him all these escape pods and getting nothing for it, and going, hang on, I must be doing something wrong here.
And there's no indication of that in the instructions or anything like that.
No. It's very ambiguous. You don't know whether or not you're supposed to hand it into the.
Yeah, I struggled with that.
Yeah, you got that as well, did you? Yeah.
Last week. Yeah.
So
I have new adventures.
And the ironic factor of all this is that despite these issues, I'm still having a blast with it, because I'm doing stuff that I normally wouldn't do. Because I mean, we had this song on earlier just before we started. That is, elites a mile wide and an inch deep. Well, that's probably because you've only put your big toe in a inch. Because there's a lot more if you start delving down deeper, but you've got to delve down, which in this case has been exploring all the USSs, which I haven't done in a while, and now all of a sudden I'm exploring them all again and finding that there's an awful lot there. And I still haven't managed to win in any of the scenarios. You know, when you got pirates attacking, you get pirates attacking megaships or installations that you're at. I haven't won one yet. They're bloody hard. That's me.
What about you, Alec?
Yeah. Okay. So, sort of more on the weeklies, actually. So last week, I think I mentioned I had a weekly that I couldn't complete, which was an escape pod thing in a system, I think, that was out of range. So there was nowhere within range to turn them in at. That did clear, so I did get a new set of weeklies, which was one of my worries, that I would have a stuck weekly that would just be impossible to ever get rid of. But it did reset and give me a new batch with a whole new tranche of problems. So I had I mean, this is the absolute perfect example, I think, of the impossible weekly task. And this is what annoys me about this, is one of the things that annoys me most, is that the generation of these weekly assignments, there seem to be very few checks and balances on whether it's randomly generating weekly assignments and not checking whether what it's generated is possible. So I was given, one of my tasks was to hack holo ads in a system which had 0 space stations in it.
Oh.
You know, I mean, there's no ambiguity there. That is not possible. Ground stations don't have holo ads. There was no space stations in the system. Impossible to hack holo ads in that system. So
Yeah.
that says to me that there are no checks and balances. It's randomly generating assignments and not bothering to check whether they're possible at all. I had the scan megaships thing, which I actually completed and quite enjoyed. So I went to Inara. I put in, I think they had to be
bulk carriers.
Acquisition. Yeah, so they had to be acquisition. So I basically put somewhere that was more or less fortified by Antal or Stronghold as my sort of reference system, and then basically got systems with bulk class carriers, is what it is, not megaships, even though it calls them megaships. So that was fun actually, and I had loads. The only gotcha there, which you have to watch out for, is that the megaships have a flight itinerary, so they hop between about 3 or 4 systems, I think.
Yeah, but they only do that on the weekly take.
Yeah, but Inara, my point is Inara isn't always up to date. So when Inara says there's a bulk class carrier in a system, sometimes it isn't.
By then. Yeah.
You go there and there's nothing there, so you have to be a little bit patient with that. And then the last one I've done so far was on foot data, which again I'm really enjoying. So yes, apart from murdering people and then having to run away, leave the bubble for a while, but just sort of going to data, because it's a bit like, I suppose, a bit like the things that the engineers get you to do, to get invites from other engineers. I like it because things like stealing data from data terminals is a mission that's it's there as a mission, I think, but I've just never chosen to do it, I suppose. But being given it as a weekly task makes me feel like, go on then, you want me to do 10 of these things I've never done before? Yeah, I'll give that bit of gameplay a go. And I quite enjoyed it once I'd learned how to do it. That you as with all on foot stuff, pretty much, or 99%, turn the bloody alarms off. If in doubt, turn the alarms off, because otherwise you will fail. But yeah, it was good. I can't remember. I've got a couple of. That's only 3, but I've been enjoying it on the whole. As long as it doesn't keep giving me impossible missions, which is intensely annoying.
So little begin.
Yeah, so mine is going to be, how would you done the mega ships if you didn't have access to an arrow?
Oh no, that's a whole different thing.
No, I want to open this can of worms.
Okay, let's do it.
Because looking at the numbers, if I've done my rough math, if you were Mahon pledged, you would have somewhere in the region of over 1,300 systems to check.
And how many of those have bulk class carriers in them?
How are you going to find out? Yeah, you'd literally have to go fly 1,300 systems in the vague hope you'd find one.
Well,
I think there's quite a lot, isn't there, actually? I think the percentage of systems with bulk class carriers in them is surprisingly high.
If it's the right flavour.
It depends where you are. I mean, Mahan's got an advantage because they've got, well, it depends on your weekly, because there's scan megaships in reinforced systems. That's actually quite easy. What you do is you head to the actual stronghold, the master system as your point, and then you just explore around there and move out further, and you'll get 9 or 10 megaships probably within an hour, which isn't too bad. And I must admit, again, I do enjoy that kind of thing. The main problem is the acquisition systems, because they're spread out quite far and they're all at the periphery. So you've got to then orbit at the far end of your power on all the border systems, and that can be a pain, because you first of all got to make sure that you're in acquisition before you get there. Because otherwise, the worst thing is you, and this happened to me twice last week, is I went to a system which was neutral, but it wasn't an acquisition for our power. So when I did scan the mega ship, nothing happened. And I was there going, why is that not happening? And of course, it's because that system wasn't an acquisition. It was just neutral. And that was that had me going a little bit nuts. Yeah, so I must admit, fair play. We must give Anara a round of applause just for that searching on bulk carriers functionality, because that's been a godsend.
Yeah, I incidentally, I mentioned it to Raza Frank, who develops ED Copilot, and I think he was talking about adding a bulk carrier search facility there as well, which would be fun.
Yeah. Are we all in agreement that although it's been relatively positive with Powerplay, it needs a balanced path?
Nah, man, it's perfect. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it needs balance pass.
I find it really
the lowest ball of questions from Colin.
Yeah, I find it really interesting though, because I was thinking about how, particularly with today's announcement, and yet more things that they've had to temporarily switch off because they hadn't thought it through, and it turns out there's massive ways of cheesing it. It sort of feels in a way like it could have done with a beta.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, the trouble with the beta, particularly for this sort of thing, is you don't get enough players.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
And it takes like tens of thousands of players to start
these trends off. Yeah.
I saw there was someone in my Discord who they were chatting about this exact thing and going, "Oh, they should have picked all of this up on the test server." There was no test server. Like, just because the preview server that we got was that partners got was was like exclusive, but just because it was broken as fuck, that didn't mean that it was a test server. There's a lot of argument to say that it would certainly be in Frontier's best interest to make a test server or do something like that. But the test a test server only works, as you're saying, Alec, if enough people play it to give them the data that they need. And I think you'd get your hardcore power play people going, oh yeah, no, we need to find out how everything works. Go on, do all of the testing that they need to do, and then fuck off and not play it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I consider to be the big scale problem, because they had a similar issue with this over on the other game, Star Citizen, where they went, listen, we're not getting the test data that we need from our small. Well, it's not small. They had a couple of thousand players on this on the PTU, and they weren't getting the testing they needed doing, so they put it out to the normal servers. Well, so everybody got it, and of course, the whole system fell over faster than a drunk Glaswegian and Socky Hull Street on a Saturday night. So, yeah, it's. But they needed to find that information out, and they would have only found that information out with such a wide test berth. And I think this is one of the things. There wasn't enough of us in the partner program to actually pick up on all these things, because it's 2 weeks trend.
And the trouble is, we're not really doing power play in the test, in the preview server, or indeed in a beta. Like, you need the particular problem with power play, even over your Star Citizen example, is that week on week we're making a difference. We're acquiring, we're losing and gaining ground for our powers. And the only way to really test it is to play it like we mean it, and like we're trying to do that. So it's real.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to invest real effort with the full knowledge that there's going to be a server wipe in a month's time or whatever.
Yeah, or in my case, they didn't server wipe it, so I
Yeah,
gave
and
up.
that's quite hard to do, I think, isn't it? Is to say, look,
Yeah.
we'd love you all to test. We want you to play it like it's for real, but I'm afraid we will throw away all your effort in 2 weeks' time.
You know, when we paid for the Odyssey, we paid for Odyssey, and that was an alpha or a beta or whatever they said what it was. When we paid for early access to Odyssey.
Yeah,
Was that a thing? It was a beta server or something on those lines.
It was a beta server.
Yeah, and I remember playing like some of that and going, "Oh well, this is still a bit broken. I'll let someone else test that." And I went back to the main game because I was doing BGS stuff, and I feel like 90% of commanders, other than those who play Elite all the time, and we were probably guilty of being, even back when Odyssey released, like a lot of us were probably guilty of being those kind of people. But the more I speak to people who used to play like so often, they now have other interests and have fallen into other games and are still play Elite, but they don't play it as religiously. And I'm going to say religiously because for a lot of people, sometimes they act like that. But it's not the be all and end all for a lot of people anymore. And if people were logging out of Odyssey, do it, and not doing the beta server on Odyssey, waiting for it to come out on the full release, I can't see them doing something. Can't see Frontier paying for the servers to do it again.
No.
Or the server space for that. Do you know what I mean?
No. I mean, I must admit, I mean, if I remember rightly, the Odyssey beta, I think a lot of people found, okay, they highlighted the issues with it. Frontier said, thank you very much. And then we knew that because there was the promise that, oh, don't worry, there's another build coming in the main build and it'll be updated. They didn't say they fixed anything.
Black frames, guys, and there were no frames.
Don't mention the other fork.
Yes. Use the fork, Luke. But yeah, it's all down to confidence of whether or not the bugs found in the beta will be fixed, because they might be horrendously bad bugs that will delay the release. But then again, that's what a beta's for, because we need to find those kind of bugs before you delay a release. Anyway, I'll go on to the Chris Mk V because he's exploding.
Yeah, it's just I really hope Frontier learned from this before colonization, because could you imagine if...
Nah, man, it's going to be broken.
You know, it says you need to get a bunch of materials, so people say it, and what I'm just going to call the advertisement server, because that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just advertisement, that we're all free advertisement for Frontier. So they say in the advertisement server you need to go and get a bunch of, whatever materials. People go and stock their fleet carriers up with thousands of those. They start doing it, they start colonizing, and then Frontier has to switch it off again. Can you imagine if it turns around they have to pause bloody colonization because people were stockpiling stuff? So I really hope they learn from this. It's why I would have personally preferred them just to pause all of Powerplay at the moment and go through it, bring people in, get people involved with it, to find all these weird interactions that they just haven't thought about, rather than doing it piecemeal, because I worry about colonization ending up the same way. I really hope they learn from this.
Well, just to put everything in perspective, though, this is just week 2. And to tell you the truth, when I've seen these systems go in other MMOs, say Star Wars The Old Republic, it's taken them months for issues to be found and then fixed. At least we found them quickly, and at least they're getting on top of them. I think in this case, Frontier have done a good job, because I've seen it so much worse. I have seen this.
I love you, Colin. I love you saying that and defending them in that way. But just because other people do it worse doesn't mean that we can't be a little bit miffed, right?
Oh yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm a bit annoyed about the fact that I'm not going to be able to do my scans or hand in my escape pods this week because that's the main way that I do Powerplay. But
oh, you're one of them. You're one of them who's caused this, then, are you? You rat bastard.
I must be. I must be. Except I don't have a fleet carrier.
Oh, you're a poor rat bastard. Oh, I get it.
You're the person that's got thousands of people on their fleet carrier. Just imagine how much you could help Kane.
Yeah, but why would I when I can keep them for nefarious activities? That sounds really weird. Don't cut that, Chris. Cut that.
No, that's a clip. That's definitely a clip. Right. Hang on a second.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I got completely lost for a second there. Right. I think. Has anybody got any final points, or are we all out?
The only thing, it's hard to justify this statement, but listening to, every week I listen to all the other podcasts. I listen to Loose Screws and I listen to Guard Frequency, and despite all these complaints and kind of issues that are coming up, and you're right, it is only week 2, which is quite a sobering thought, or calming thought maybe. I feel like the discussion around the game is actually quite healthy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People are talking about sort of real things, doing all sorts of new gameplay, and they're talking about their powers and who to sign up to and what's their favorite activity. I don't know. Generally, I get this quite positive vibe around Powerplay that there seems to be a very healthy discussion going on around it, and people are excited despite all the issues. And I don't know.
No, that is one of the more positive things I've taken from this. There's not a lot of, as far as the actual structures of Powerplay, people seem to have got the hang of the concept. They're able to understand what's going on. They want to play it.
Yeah.
They want, whether it's for the rewards, for the advancement of their own personal rewards, or as I prefer to do, I'm actually playing for the power. So I'm doing what I'm instructed to in the Discord with the understanding that they know what they're doing. But I must admit it has added an extra oomph to the game that I thought was missing since the Thargoid War started to kind of taper off.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Well, I think we'll wrap this up. I think we'll come back to Powerplay when we're a little bit more confident with it. I think we'll leave Powerplay for a bit anyway. So mostly Clueless, courtesy of FNAP during last week's show, to preview a ship skin. So you can rotate the ship and see it from all angles, go to the main menu and then select game extras and vehicle extras and then paint jobs with the paint pot symbol on the left. From there you'll have a preview binding to hide the store info, at which point you can rotate the ship in all directions, zooming in, zooming out, and either turning the lights on and off, depending on the bindings you see. Because if you go in while in the game itself, you just get the one angle. But if you want to see a ship or a ship kit from all over, then game extras and vehicle extras, and that will give you that wonderful 3D.
Yeah, thanks to FNAP for that, because I was really struggling. I knew it used to be there, and all the other in-game options, you still have the binding to go into preview mode, which hides the store elements. But then, I was thinking, I'm sure I used to better rotate the ship, and yeah, you just have to go in. It's just that one place where it works.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that it was in, to be honest.
And it's really handy if you're going to buy a ship skin. I wonder how it probably works. I wonder if it works for kits as well. But it is important to look at it from all that angles, because sometimes from one angle you just can't really see if you even like it or not. I don't know.
Yeah, especially something like iridescent, because
Yeah.
because it'll look different under different parts of the light source. So you rotate the ship and you'll be able to see it actually what it looks like when the sun's behind it and so on and so forth. But anyway, yes. Thank you, FNAP. So we'll move on to the question of the week.
Hey, we
Yes,
had a question of the week this week. We got a lot of answers. Hey, do you want to know why? Do you want to know the main reason why? We're now posting the question of the week on Blue Sky. Hi, Lave Radio is on Blue Sky as well. Come and follow us. It's a dope place. I highly recommend it. It's better than the shithole. Anyway. Our question of the week this week, we'd already talked about what we thought colonization was going to be. That was the previous week. And this week, we talked about, we asked what your thoughts were on the Cobra Mk V and whether or not you would be getting one. And we've got a few responses. So everybody gear up because we've got a few to read. Firstly, the Burr Pit.
Ooh.
Don't know if you've heard of them. The Burr Pit responded, I'll absolutely be getting one. I genuinely don't know what I'll do with it yet. I'm very curious to understand the module options to see where FDev see it sitting, but I'm hoping it'll be a nice general BGS ship. OVS with stable SCO 07.
Yeah.
That was I tried to do a little bit of a Burr Pit impression then, and then dialed it back, and I feel bad. Apologies.
Little flappy
Apologies
wings.
to
Hey!
Little flappy wings. Get killed back, my son.
And all that. Geezer in it, right.
In it.
Oh, he'll be trying a crap Scottish accent now in response.
Yeah. Epaphras says, I'm not sure about it. I would have preferred for it to have been a small ship, same as the Mark III and Mark IV, which doesn't exist. Wink. Thinking about it, I can't remember the last time we had a new ship which wasn't a medium ship. Would love to see some super cruise overcharge optimized small and large ships.
I don't know. I'm okay with the medium ones so far. I don't think I'm actually crying out for a small ship at the moment.
No, it'd be fun if they carry on next year doing new ships and fingers crossed. I have loved them. Then it would it'd be nice to see a little bit of a mix, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've got Commander AJ. It's going to have to be special to beat the Mandy, but I'll probably be adding it to my fleet.
We keeping you up, Colin?
I don't know where that came from. I have never, 10 years I've been doing this, I've never yawned once. And that was, I just got hit by a yawn.
3 weeks of power play talk, that's what that is.
Yeah. Self-yawn attack.
Everybody else is starting to yawn now, right now. I just know it.
Stop it.
Go on, Alec.
Right, it's question, Stan.
Not me.
Okay.
He's next for the yawn. I was on about.
All right. I've got AJ Wallace. It looks great, but unless it adds something new, it won't be a priority for me. Having said that, there have been some more hints about Thurgoid tech, so maybe it will be uniquely connected to that somehow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to fart caustic as you fly around.
Interesting.
So we have caustic drives then.
Oh no, just plumes of like caustic at the back of it for no reason. I don't know.
Literally for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Or engines.
Yeah, just
Amazing.
go farting into stations, farting out, land, fart, just kill everyone. Be fine.
Nobody expects a surprise fart attack, that's true.
Hashtag drive-by.
Marina Oatmeal says that I'll be getting it, but I wonder what another medium multi-role ship will be able to do that the previous ships couldn't. Be sailing an SCO, one would imagine. I'll be far more excited had they stuck to the usual formula of small Cobras. Regardless, I'll put it through some AX work and see what it can do. Still amazing to see new ships. True.
Yeah, we like the new ships, regardless.
Yeah, new ships. Ship fatigue I'm getting. That's what it is.
Right.
Yes.
Me? Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Some bloke called Elvis Kremen.
Actual genuine Elvis Kremen. Okay, copy that.
Yeah. Says, might not be an ARC's purchase, but it looks more futuristic than the other Cobras, especially the back end, so will likely grab for credits. Added perks of 3 seats will be bonus for running around with friends. Internals will hopefully make it a decent BGS ship.
Yeah,
Nice.
No
see that.
notes.
I can see that. I have Profane Pagan. The scale and style of the new ships is pretty diverse. Python 2 is a proper medium, T8 is a huge, almost a large ship. Mandalay, after the rescale to fit the medium pad, turned into a small ship with big wings. And the new Cobra looks like it'll be a low-tier medium, smaller than an Asp Scout. Lovely. So hang on, the Asp Scout is a medium?
Yeah.
I always thought the Asp Scout was small for some reason.
No, it's the same size as an Asp. Asp is medium as well.
Yeah.
Don't want to burst your bubble by thinking that an Asp Explorer isn't.
I know, but Asp Explorer is a medium.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
they're the
Asp
same
Scout was-
size.
That's quite similar, isn't it? It's just missing the
Mhm.
tail fins or something. It's got a very
And
similar
the engines are
Yeah,
on
the
top
engines.
of each other's.
Yeah, weird engines.
shape. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a crap ship.
Wow.
I'm
So you-
sorry.
No, wind it in, Colin. Say how you really feel. Don't hold back, mate.
Okay, top 3 crap ships. We've got the Adder, crap, number 1. But number 2, we've got the Asp Scout, which is a major
Okay,
turd bucket. And no, well, let's leave it.
Amazing.
Incidentally, there is a bounty currently on Just About for do a write up of the most underrated ships. So
I
Yeah.
can feel some fingers warming up right now.
yeah, any Adder fans get in there.
Yep. Okay, I've got Commander Mad Dog. I'm slightly worried that there are already 2 brilliant multi-purpose ships already elite: the Crate Mark II and the Python. So what niche will the Cobra 5 fill? I'm hoping it will fly and run similar to the Cobra Mark III, but a little tougher with a harder punch. Will I get one? Totally.
That's a Python. Just for F.
Python.
Python. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
It's another multi-role. What's it going to do better than the Python? Is it going to have more cargo? Is it
SEO. It's going to do SEO better than the Python.
Yeah.
Was that not made completely clear? Commander Bortak 000 says the new Cobra Mark V looks great. A definite buy after release to test its capabilities as a BGS ship. 07.
Anthony H. I want 1 or 3. Looks slick. Hope is it has improved speed and maneuverability specs for hooning, slightly better cargo for the odd run, more guns.
More guns.
Ooh. Well,
More guns.
that's
Hooning.
interesting because I don't think you've got a medium ship that can match the turn rate of smaller ships, is there?
Well, the Mandalay's certainly.
The Mandalay's the god among men.
No, of course I
Looking-
forgot about the
good.
Mandalay, which still needs a weakness. Mayu, I have. It says, looks interesting. I'll probably be getting it. It has a 3-seated cockpit, so I'm assuming it's going to carry a fighter.
Yeah, that's what
Bingo.
you said, wasn't it, Colin?
Yep, I think that this thing will have a fighter, and I'm all for it. And I hope we might get a new fighter as well. But I guess I'm just
Love
wishing.
a new fighter.
Yes, definitely.
I'd love another reason to do the Guardian Beacon things.
Oh God,
as well.
yeah. I would.
Yeah, give me 3 more reasons to do that. I don't want just one fighter. Give me 3 more Guardian fighters, please, so I can do those beacons again. Or do like Beetlejuice just said in the chat room, a Thargoid fighter. Let me chuck a Grelic in that and see what happens. Give me that frontier. How hard can it be?
Is the keelback? Sorry. Go on.
Yes, the keelback's a medium.
Is that the only medium that's got a fighter? No. Yeah. No.
Can't the Crate Mark II take one?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Crate
the
Mark
great-
II
yeah. You're
fighter.
right, sorry. Never mind.
And I'm sure one of the federal ships can.
And the Ask Scout? No.
No, the Ask Scout is
no.
Okay, I've got Frank Slarty Bart. I might pick it up sometime later just out of curiosity. If it had been a rickety old Cobra Mark II that was slow, had limited jump range and cargo capacity, and if it only had one hard point on the front of the ship, I'd have snapped it up immediately.
And put it in your garage and never flown it again.
Cobra Mark II didn't exist.
Like the Mark IV?
No, it genuinely didn't. The Cobra Mark I existed in all the old games, and the Cobra Mark III existed in the old games, but the Cobra Mark II didn't, because there was a design fault with the actual thing. It was in the manual and everything. That why they explained there wasn't a Cobra Mark II.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I got so confused by what you were saying. Don't take much.
That's cool.
Okay. Us old people will know what I mean.
You go on your nostalgia rampage, and that's fine. Silas Resi, on the other hand, says, wish it was a small class of ship. Falcon de Lacy already has a few mid-sized multi-role ships. I do love that they went for a Cobra base, though. I just find the mid-sized options a bit meh, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think there's a lot of that, isn't there? There's a lot of people saying, oh, I'd kind of they've got medium ship fatigue.
Well, maybe next year will be the year of the large ship or the small ship,
or a mix.
Why not both?
Mix of both. Right, I have got Nicey. Oh, incidentally, which reminds me, I forgot to put this in Community Corner, but this week, Nicey, I almost feel obliged to send Nicey a warning. Nicey seems to have embarked on what I started doing 10 years ago when I created a best of forum thread where I thought, there's a few links. I should just put them all in one place. Be careful, Nicey. That shit can take over your life. But I love what you've done with the blog so far, which is just to list a bunch of things that we all need to know in one place. But careful. Anyway.
Yeah.
Nicey says, probably won't be getting one for early access, but definitely getting one or many for odd tasks once it becomes available for credits. I love the ship. It's just I won't be back from the black for a while.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I must admit, I know what it means, because I bought a Mandalay for my Explorer Commander and then realised I won't be able to outfit it until I get to Colonia.
Oh, no.
I'm a long way. I'm still 9,000 light years away from Colonia with that commander, so it's going to be a while. I should have waited for credits, but never mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I have Edmund P. We'll be definitely getting one on launch day. I suppose it'll be a multi-role, but I have concerns that it is a medium. I really hope it flies just as well as the Manday. Unlikely, but
that can't be intentional.
That's Showtime.
That can't
if
be
only we just hadn't got an amazing one. Although
I've got Orange Spark. For a ship like this, I'll happily come out of retirement for a bit. I hope I'm somewhere in the bubble, though.
Must admit, I haven't heard from Orange Spark for quite a while. Now that would explain why.
Sorry, I was making a note. Commander Nivanye.
That's mine.
Oh, it is.
It's got my name next to it.
Ignore me. I panicked. Sorry.
Commander Nivanye says definitely will be getting one. I like the looks. Big improvement on the Mark III and IV. I'm guessing it'll be a multi-role ship like its predecessors. I'll find a use for it.
Right, this one's definitely me. Angus says it would be great if you had to complete a quest to pick one up.
That's really cool. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I'm down actually. Yeah, let's do that. That's good.
So first of all, you've got to get access to buy the quest, and then you get the ship. Isn't that a bit
100%.
like a mission?
Yeah, 100%. It's a DLC. That makes it a full DLC.
Yeah, you've got to complete these 5 missions before you can pick up your ship. Right. I heard.
Wait.
Really? Go on, Claire.
But they'll stop some of them because some people have found a way to exploit it.
Oh dear. Right, Commander Greybeard Seawolf says, a herd of really angry wild horses couldn't stop me from snaffling up this beauty when it arrives. Although I don't tell my Mandalay I said that.
Everyone's got a fucking Mandalay. I wonder how much Frontier made from the Mandalay sales alone.
A lot.
Commander Greybeard, I'm getting kind of very Milner and Stormbreaker vibes from there.
I've got Richie Dabs. Definitely going to get one. No harm in new ships. Looks amazing.
Excellent.
Which space says, I'm suffering Cobra 4 flashbacks. Will let others take the first step.
But the Cobra 4 isn't real. It can't hurt you.
It is a figment of your imagination. When I'm flying it past you, I don't exist.
And it's garbage. Right. Billip says, I'm disappointed that FDev missed the opportunity of giving the Mark V the moniker of King Cobra. I guess we can at least put that on the nameplate, if nothing else. That said, it has mediocre shoes to fill as a replacement for the Mark IV, but even with that hurdle to clear, I'll be getting one. I might even spend arcs on it.
Mediocre? The Cobra Mark IV wishes it was mediocre. Yeah, that's number 3 on the crap ships list, by the way, the Cobra Mark IV.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. Commander Bro Cronenberg. I got the squadron prefers to head into ground combat via our own ships, and my current go-to for 3 commanders is the Alliance Chieftain. This ship could replace that one if it could be fitted with 3 or more SRVs, and it looks like a smaller landing footprint. I must admit, I have never taken a whole load of people in on an assault with SRVs in one ship. It's something that had never occurred for me to do, but all of a sudden, after reading that, I want to do it.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does sound fun. Yeah, it's cool. Cool, like that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I've got Commander Chris Carr. My main commander will, but alt, Alistair Andrus will stick to his Mandalay, no delay.
Mandalay, no delay. You love to see it. Damage 142 says, I'm in the market for a medium combat ship. I was going to use the Python Mark II, but if the Cobra has better internals, I'll give it a go instead. Fair enough. I'm so looking forward to seeing what the inside of the Cobra is gonna be, what its bits are, because I think it's gonna really, really be able to settle it and where it sits. Excited.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll find out on the next FU.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah. Phoenix Blue. Haven't we already had Phoenix Blue? Anyway, Phoenix Blue.
We've had a different Phoenix.
Okay. I love the look. Sleek, stealthy. Looks like it will be well suited for its multi-purpose role. I do wish if it were a small ship instead of a medium, but I have every intent on buying it when it becomes available.
It's funny how you mentioned stealthy, because I must admit, when I first saw it, I went, that's the old stealth fighter from the Gulf War.
Well, to be honest, I mean, because I think I mentioned that because, stealth ships tend to be very polygonal and not have curves and things. And then there was that quote about, I think I think somebody from Frontier said that it was, what the Cobra would have been if they'd had more polygons back in 1984, and it's like, no, this is absolutely a cheese wedge.
They were all cheese wedges back then.
Yeah.
Well, I have Commander Grey Area UK. I'll be getting one with credits, not arcs, but it'll have to be very good indeed to do better than the Crate Mark II. Yep, I mean, the Crate Mark II is a superb multi-role ship. I've
never used it for multi-role.
What?
I've never used the Crate Mark II for multi-role. It's just a fighter for me.
I've used it for everything. So, yeah, it's been multi-role for me. The only thing that... No, everything. The only reason is the Python Mark I had a larger cargo capacity, but for everything else, it's been Python Mark 2. Crate Mark 2.
Interesting. Really interesting, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got Andrew Jones. It reminds me of the Constrictor from BBC disc version of the original game, which isn't a bad thing as it had a cloaking device. Yes, I will be getting one.
That's it. That's what I thought it looked more like, actually. It does. It looks more like the Constrictor than it does look like a Cobra.
Commander... Yeah, I have to. Yeah. Commander Schnails says, weirdly, this is the new ship that I'm most underwhelmed by. Is it just a competitor to the original Python? Why is the tune original Prankster now in my head? All that said, I'm bound to splash the Arcs and get it early, just to see. There have to be good dev money in, keep rolling out new ships. True.
Right, Hamburger. He of the fabulous Buckyball blogs says, love the way it looks, but it's going to have to be able to do something which other medium ships can't do. Either running way colder than a Dolphin, or maybe the first medium ship to be able to boost past 700 meters a second with engineering. Or both. Come on, Frontier, how hard can that be? I'll get one anyway.
Nice.
I have...
Could be fast, I suppose. No
It could be fast. It could be really fast. It could be really fast. It could be stealthy. It could have like a cloaking device. It won't.
It could need a quest to get it. Probably won't.
It won't. It won't. You could need to make it purely from Thargoid materials. You won't.
I have Commander Ventura.
Hi, Ventura.
Everybody waves to Commander Ventura, who says he's a bit disappointed that it wasn't the Adder Mark II. Oh, I see why I've got this one.
Mate, I just put them all in from the top. This is just crazy random happenstance and luck.
Of course. All right, let's hope it's got a better spec than the Cobra Mark IV. Oh, come on. Actually, yeah. No, I'm not. I'll start ranting about ships that should be thrown in the toilet.
What if it doesn't, though? What if it doesn't?
Okay, I've got one from Lambda. I really like the looks of the Cobra Mark V. Aesthetically, it feels like the next logical step from bringing classic ships like the older Cobra, Python, etc. into modern 3D. The default blue paint scheme even looks amazing. It has a centerline pilot seat, which is the best way to have it, in my opinion. If the internals are great, I'll probably pick it up for Arcs. If not, I'll still buy it with credits just so I can look at it.
Perfect. It's the first one with a brand new cockpit as well, isn't it? So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Something new to look at from our point of view, which will be really nice. Commander the Stig's cousin says, so far it's great. It looks amazing and we'll have an SCO drive as well. I've been looking for a dual ship for getting around the bubble, and this might be it.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep. A few more. I've got Carnby, who says, I think it looks great. Will probably be my new go-to multi-purpose ship. I expect it to have more room for cargo and internals than the Mark III, and to be quicker and more nimble than the Python. I think both of those are reasonable expectations.
Excellent. And finally, I have Cheb's Will. The pics look good. I will be almost certainly get it. I hope if it's to be multi-purpose, it has a lot 14 plus of general purpose compartments for various and appropriate sizes for the ship. That would be great for making it a jack of all trades at the same time ship.
14's a lot.
It is a lot.
What ships have that much?
I don't know. I don't think there are any.
Is that just? Are we adding up like the size of
the numbers of all of the things?
Yeah, no, nobody's got that many, surely. Don't they?
Well, that number would be really small if it was going to be a medium. I think the Mandalay, adding all of that up, is more than 14.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
Anaconda has 12.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
it's not going to have 14 plus.
Scienced it for you already. There we go. Right. Any other business? Yeah. Well, we should mention that next week we're going to take a break. Normally, because our show would come out the day before an FU, and the one thing that we hate is we come up with something for the speculating about what happens in the FU, and then we're all completely wrong, and we feel absolute idiots. But yeah, so
there will be a question of the week, though. I will put a question of the week out. I think it will be a question for the fortnight, and it will, spoiler alert, it will probably be talking about what you think Frontier is going to do for the 10th birthday of Elite, of Elite Dangerous, I should say, because that is coming up mid-December, isn't it? So that will probably be our question of the week. Yeah, that'll be our question of the week on Sunday, which you will be able to find on Twitter, boo, in our Discord, woohoo, and also on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
So, yay!
Just to mention, to make everybody else feel old, 10 years since the launch party.
So, Elite is now as old as Elite Dangerous is now as old as Half-Life 2 was when Elite Dangerous was released.
Wow.
Very good.
Being cyclical about that.
Very good.
Half-Life 2 is as old as the original Elite was when Half-Life 2 was released.
What?
Time is a circle.
Love that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Time is a full circle, and I absolutely adore it.
Bravo. I like that. That's great.
Oh, dear. Right. Okay. So I think we'll just do our shout-outs now. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv, Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes to see a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. Give a shout out to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So you say hi to the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. We also have the wonderful Loose Screws, who are probably murdering more accents even as we speak. And of course, if you speak French,
I just let the funky music do the talking.
there's also the wonderful Elite Dangerous podcast, who also do those wonderful missions as well. I haven't seen the Loose Screws do any French accents yet. Oh, no. Anyway, following this...
Don't encourage them.
Oh, no. I want to hear that because it will make Hello Hello sound accurate. Anyway, following on this, do we actually have a Galnet news? Because I know that Pete is stressed out about the fact that...
do.
Oh, fair play to Pete and Beetlejude for actually coming up with a Galnet News Digest out of nothing. And we'll also thanks to all the commanders who have chipped in on the Twitch chat. And the in-game commanders we have visited us have been William Solo, Giza Gonk Yadoba, Soccer 42, Siberius, and this Phoenix Defier Esquire who's just hanging out with Chris.
He sounds like a white dickhead.
He is. Yeah.
Good.
Special thanks to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have created music for this show. Apparently, that dickhead has been doing a show for more than 10 years.
That's wild.
I know.
Wild
I know.
nonsense.
So, that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find us under the contact links in home/contact us menu on the laveradios.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out live at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Psychit.
07 Commanders.
Thanks to Alec Turner.
Thanks, Colin. Night all.
A special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, who's also been a contributor, and that would be the Chris Mark V.
You're welcome.
Because you've got the Chris Mark IV hanging out in the bar, but we're not talking about him. Until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. safe word.
Space can be lonely.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 19th of November, 3310. Nearly 3 weeks after the new political system known as Powerplay 2.0 rolled out, it continues to be beset by minor problems, and the galactic powers have been rewriting the rules to try to maintain stability. There has been a general slowness, a lethargy to the galaxy that affects everyone, and even the people who don't participate in politics. Carrier jump times have been erratic, and the length of time spent in hyperspace has also generally been unusually long. Limpets have developed an aversion to depositing what they've collected in your hold, preferring to hang on to whatever it is, possibly in the hope that you'll take it and throw it so that they can scamper after it again. Possibly of more consequence to those who dabble in politics, whether for personal gain or to change the face of the galaxy, is the changes made to the merit earning potential of some activities. Exploration and trading was subject to an investigation and remedial work a couple of weeks ago. Now it's the turn of rare goods trading, turning in escape pods and delivering data to our Odyssey settlements. It appears that you could very quickly trade rare goods from a neighbouring system without all the tedious travelling 150 light years to get a good price. You'd lose money on the transaction, but still earn a lot of merits. Unprofitable rare goods trading is not something the powers want to encourage, so they have temporarily suspended Powerplay gains for rare goods trading. This does not apply to the weekly tasks. If you have a task to sell rare goods into an acquisition system, you can still complete the task and earn your bonus merits. Escape pods are surprisingly easy to come by, especially at megaships wrecked by Thargoids. This has also led to a glut of the things being used to sway galactic influence, leading to the galactic stock market in cryogenically frozen humans being suspended whilst it's all sorted out. Data deliveries has been beset by very real problems. The trouble with data is that it's really easy to copy. Buy a bunch of cheap thumb drives and you can deliver the same data over and over again. Well, that's been stopped, at least for now. The Galactic Database Administrators are working on a solution to make sure you only get credited once for delivering an item of data. There is now disquiet among those who manage the terrestrial holdings of the powers that the suspension of these activities might make undermining easier and reinforcement harder, leading to political instability. At an individual level, we have advice for commanders who are asked to scan megaships. Ignore any megaship you can land on. Instead, head for the bulk carriers, the ones that have ship logs that you can scan. There may be one or more in some systems, but they won't show up until you've FSS'd a nearby planet, which makes hunting for them painful. It's far easier to use the Inara database to search for a station type of bulk carrier. Once you've found it, scan the megaship using your datalink scanner. This is not enough. Now you need to get very close and look for the ship log uplink. If you also scan that, your efforts will be recognised by your power. For those commanders saddled with a task to hack holo ads in a system without any holo ads, the distress is real and personal. There's really nothing you can do, and you'll miss out on that week's merit bonus. Hopefully, it will be one of the next things the galactic powers will choose to address.